The Raptors' undefeated season is still alive, thanks to another preseason win. Raptors win their second preseason game against the Charlotte Hornets. We're going to recap all that and more right after this. What is going on, Rosano Nation, Raptors Nation? Welcome back to another edition of Raps Report, a podcast where I talk about the Toronto Raptors and other NBA news. I'm your host, Luca Rosano, rocking the sweet new set. Yes, I am rocking the new Raps Report backdrop studio setup. Hope you guys like it. If you do, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are doing things differently here, as we always do here on the channel. And I want to give a special shout out. I want to get his name right, to CALLUM LOVEKIN. I hope I'm saying that right, for providing me with this custom backdrop Raps report. Thank you so much, CALLUM. You can check out his great work. I've put a link to his portfolio down in the description box below. Once again, thank you, CALLUM, for giving me a fresh new look, because it is a fresh new season and it is a fresh new Raps report presented by VAUGHAN SPORTSPLEX 2. The Toronto Raptors make it 2-0 in the preseason. They got one more game left on Friday, and that was a fun game. That was a fun game, y'all. Went down to the wire. We got some good competitive moments in this one. I enjoyed watching it. For a preseason game, I think we got the price of admission, as the Raptors come away with the 3-point win. And before we talk about this game, and before I tell you what stood out to me, again, guys, please smash that like button. Sub to the channel if you are new, plus ring the bell. I'll be doing a live post-game show after every single Raptors game from here on out, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Make sure you leave your comments. Make sure you share this if you like it. Follow me on social media where we can keep the conversation rolling. That is Instagram at Luca Rosano, TikTok, Luca Rosano, Twitter, Luca Rosano3. You can see all of those usernames down below. And if you're up for it, become a channel member so you get custom perks and emojis and badges for these live streams and all my videos. I gotta be honest with y'all. I gotta do a video on Malachi Flynn, and it's probably gonna come out either tomorrow or Wednesday. I gotta do a dedicated piece, a dedicated report to this kid. I mean, oh my goodness. Once again, he impressed me tonight. I'm gonna come out and say it. Malachi Flynn showed me more than LaMelo Ball did in their first two games in the NBA. Malachi Flynn, another impressive outing for the youngsters. 17 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. Got some very important minutes in the fourth quarter. And I don't know about you guys, but he, to me, seems that he is a veteran out there. He is calm, he is cool, he is collective. The way he is able to move the offense, he distributes well. He's not afraid to take the big shot, not afraid to take the three-pointer. He is so confident shooting that shot, and his jump shot looks a hell of a lot better at this point in his career than it does for LaMelo Ball, who was the number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft. You gotta love what you're seeing from Malachi Flynn. He resembles Fred VanVleet and then some. He doesn't look for praise. He doesn't look for high fives. He goes about his business. And we once again saw how good this guy can be tonight. I know it's early, but I'm going to come out and say it. Malachi Flynn could end up being the steal of the draft. At number 29, a lot of people didn't know about this guy. I'm not going to act like I knew a ton about this guy when the Raptors selected him. I did my live reaction on TikTok. I was expecting the Raptors to go to a different route, a different name, even go after a big. But they have gotten Malachi Flynn, who has now positioned himself to be in the future, part of this backcourt. And for the foreseeable future, he is going to be the backup guard. And he is going to get some major minutes if he continues to play as well as he did. I mean, this was a close game late. And Malachi Flynn did not bundle, did not crack under pressure. Again, it's the preseason. I don't want to be overhyping this guy, but I'm going based on the eye test through 2 preseason games. And this dude has impressed me and then some. So Malachi Flynn, he is going to get a lot of praise throughout the course of tonight's Raps report. This was a game that was a weird one. Raptors looked a little sloppy, played lethargic again in the first half. Hornets had the lead, and the Raptors finally recaptured the lead in the fourth quarter. That's when we got a fun back and forth between these two teams. Fred VanVleet, 23 points. He had another solid game. He had, I think, 5 3-pointers in this one. Steady Freddie. I mean, we paid him the big bucks for a reason. We expect a lot from this guy, and we expect him to be the team's leading scorer on a lot of these nights and in a lot of these games. And Fred VanVleet made it look easy out there. Again, shooting the ball without hesitation. His efficiency was there. His shot was falling. His confidence was there. And between he and Malachi Flynn, I mean, I loved what I saw from those guys. Terrence Davis, he impressed me too in tonight's game. 14 points. I'm going to come out and say it. I think Terrence Davis is our best pure point getter from off the bench. Anytime you need a key bucket from your second unit and you look for a guy that's going to spark that bench, look no further than Terrence Davis. I love the combination with he and Malachi Flynn. There could be a strong possibility that this could be the backup backcourt for the Raptors, and I'm all in on it. Malachi with Terrence Davis, these two players complementing each other so well. These guys look very, very great out there. They did, and I really love that tandem. I really love that duo. So if they're going to do a lot more of what they did in tonight's game, sign me up for them to be the backup backcourt, because they did a lot of great things. Norman Powell was much better tonight. I know a lot of people didn't like how he played in Game 1. There's going to be a lot of expectations on Norman Powell coming into the season. Of course, with the Raptors losing that scoring from Serge Ibaka from off the bench, can Norman Powell be that guy to come in and score the basketball? We're going to see, but I like either he or Terrence Davis to really step up as that main point getter from off the bench. And like I said, I think that is Terrence Davis. If all continues to go well for Davis and, the court stuff, wraps up and it works to his favor and he remains a player on this team, Terrence Davis is poised to having a big year. And I think we're not talking about him enough just because of what's been going on off the court and all of the allegations that have been happening of late. So Terrence Davis really caught my attention tonight, along with Malachi. Again, Fred VanVleet, he had a great game, 5 of 7 from 3. Baines, he did his thing out there, 17 minutes, 2 of 5 from the field, 4 points, 3 rebounds. He did have 3 turnovers, though. You don't want to see that from him. And again, 3 personal fouls. It's going to take him some time to get into the rhythm of this Raptors system, so I'm not too concerned with him. OG Anunoby didn't really have a good night, off night. Again, I'm not too concerned, though. He's going to be fine this season. Pascal Siakam, 23 minutes tonight. He looked pretty solid. 12 points. He was 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Although those 2 3-pointers were air balls, that was a little bit concerning. But all in all, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover. I thought Siakam had a much better showing in tonight's preseason game than he did in his first. Let's go to the bench now, and a guy that I want to talk about is Deandre Bembry. And again, if you guys are just joining, this is Raps Report, my Raptors and Charlotte Hornets post-game show, live post-game show. Make sure you hit me up with one of these if you haven't already. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. You won't regret it. And please ring the bell to stay notified on all my Raps reports and all the reports that will be coming up in the future. I'm going to be doing another one of these on Friday. So again, please like, sub, share. It does go a long way. Let me take a sip of water here. And shout out to everybody in the chat right now, man. I'm going to get to comments and questions later on. I just want to go over what impressed me and go over my little spiel. But then we're going to get into the live stream chat. So I appreciate everybody. I'm reading everybody's comments as we go here. Thanks so much. Keep it coming. All right. Where were we? Deandre Bembry was impressive tonight. 9 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 15 minutes, and I thought his energy was phenomenal. It was there. It's where you want it to be. If Deandre Bembry can do what he did tonight, on a consistent basis for the Toronto Raptors, that's going to be a big added bonus for that second unit. This is a guy who's going to play hard. His drive is high. He's going to fight for the loose ball. And if he can hit the three, which he did hit a three tonight, that's just an added component of his game. I really like Deandre Bembry. He's not going to wow you out there, but he does the little things on both sides of the ball that you have to appreciate when you watch this guy play. Matt Thomas didn't have a good game tonight, but he gets the pass. And here's the thing with Matt Thomas. I'm not concerned about him whatsoever. For the first time in his career, he's finally stepping into a role where he's going to have consistency and he's going to have consistent minutes. So for the longest time, this guy was stepping onto the court not knowing if he was going to play the next 2 games. So there was a lot of pressure on him to deliver. Now that he knows that Nick Nurse is going to utilize him more with the second unit, that's going to allow Matt Thomas to develop a routine and develop a consistent approach to his game. So even though he had 2 points tonight, I am not concerned in the slightest bit for Matt Thomas. Shooter shoots. He knows he's going to get minutes. That being said, the Raptors need him to be consistent over the course of a regular season. So if he has these off days, these off games, that's just the nature of the game. He's a shooter. That's bound to happen. Hell, I mean, don't make me go back to my, elementary school playing days, high school playing days. I had my off days too as a shooter. He's a sharpshooter. He's going to have more good days than bad days. I promise you that. Matt Thomas is going to be okay. I know he obviously wowed us in that first game, but he's going to also be a big time relied upon player on the second unit. You look at Chris Boucher. He did have 8 rebounds tonight. Played 13 minutes. Again, not going to get too hard on him that he only had 1 point. Chris Boucher, that's another guy who is going to get a lot more minutes than he is accustomed to seeing. It's going to take some time for him to develop a routine and develop his game around this new role. I put him in the Matt Thomas bracket. These guys are going to have off games. It is what it is. You just hope he has better good games than he does off games. Alex Len, I was impressed with Alex Len. 4 points, 3 rebounds. I like that he got minutes tonight. He's a big body. He's going to eat up minutes from off the bench. The Raptors are going to play big teams. And when they play big teams, you're going to roll out an Alex Len. You're not going to necessarily roll out a Chris Boucher when you got to have, big bodies combat the other big bodies in the paint. So I liked Alex Len. I liked that he got some minutes, and he looked comfortable as the game rolled on. Watanabe, he got some minutes too tonight. This is a guy in Watanabe. I know a lot of people. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Watanabe. But here's a guy that he's got great size. I think this is his 3rd year in the league. If there's a spot on the roster for him, I would be happy. I like his energy. I really do. I like his demeanor out there. I like his energy. I like with the persona that he plays with. And again, we got to see him in tonight's game. We also saw Jalen Harris again. We saw Stanley Johnson. We saw Ellenson, who hit a 3. He's bounced around a lot. He played for the 905. He's getting a chance here to prove himself. Alize Johnson looked kind of rough in the minutes that he was given. And the 2 players that didn't play tonight, Kyle Lowry, who of course got dismissed. He was dismissed. Not that he cares about these games. He won't be playing in these first 2 games, but we could see him, I believe, in that final preseason game against the Heat. And then Pat McCaw, we have still not seen Pat McCaw. I'm very surprised. I thought we were going to see him get some minutes tonight, but Pat McCaw has not played yet. And we saw O'Shea Brissett, the Syracuse product. Love to see him out there, man. 3 points in 9 minutes. I hope we see more of him in the last preseason game. The Raptors are actually going to be, I think, the only team to play 3 preseason games. Every other team's playing 4 preseason games because the Raptors got a new home. They don't get to go to Toronto and relax. They got to figure out their new home in the confines of Tampa Bay, Florida. So, they're going to have one more preseason game, and then they're going to get revved up for the regular season. So, my closing remarks here. This was a fun game. I loved what I saw from Malachi and Terrence Davis. I love that tandem. Fred VanVleet was spot on, as we expected him to be. Raptors' second unit really stepped it up in that second half. Their energy level came alive in that second half. They turned it on, as we see with this team more times than not. And overall, we saw some good moments from some of these players that I just mentioned. And I think in the final preseason game, we're going to see the other guys get more minutes to see what they can do. I don't expect any of the starters to log significant minutes. That's going to be a game where, again, the Malachi Flynns of the world, the Bembrys of the world, the Bouchers of the world, the Lens of the world, even Brissett. Maybe we'll see more Watson, Watanabe, Harris. That's going to be their final game and their final showing to show Nick Nurse how these guys fit in to the rotation as the real thing starts in about a week and a half time. So, yeah, I mean, Raptors, they're undefeated. The perfect season is still alive. Preseason vibes. We don't really care about who wins, who loses. You just want to see how guys play in different situations. I like that this game was close because it did put a little bit extra oomph in this game for some of these guys. Because, when you're playing a blowout game and it's a preseason, a lot of the times you just put your foot off the gas pedal and you don't care. But when it is a close game, by nature, the adrenaline kicks in, and we saw that in the fourth quarter when the Raptors made their run to take the lead for the first time since the first quarter and eventually went on to win this game. I do want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets side. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys do with their guards, because as it stands right now, LaMelo Ball has been coming off the bench, and they've been starting Graham and Rozier, and both those guys look good tonight. I think eventually we will see LaMelo Ball start. It makes sense for them to start him. I mean, he's presumably this team's future point guard. But I didn't really like what I saw from Ball tonight. I thought he forced a lot of the offense that he got. He did score 12 points, but he didn't look comfortable at times. And like I said, over 2 games, Malachi Flynn impressed me more than LaMelo Ball. I'm not saying LaMelo Ball is not going to be good. He needs more time to obviously get into the rhythm of things. But I wanted to see a little bit more of LaMelo Ball. I wanted to see more of an impact when he did step onto the court. So I'm sure he's going to get a lot of minutes. This is, like I said, presumably his team. They drafted him with a number 3 overall pick. I know I said number 2 earlier. Wait, number 2 or number 3? I'm getting confused now. They drafted him high. So they're obviously going to, expect a lot from him. But I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more from LaMelo Ball. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how the Hornets play Graham, Rozier, and Ball all together. All those guys obviously being ball-dominant guards. Yeah, he got drafted 3rd. There you go. That's what I thought. Yeah. LaMelo Ball, listen, I hope he does well. His brother just got cut, LiAngelo Ball. That sucks, especially since we thought we were going to see all Ball brothers in the NBA. Lonzo and LaMelo, these are going to be the 2 best Ball brothers. Who's going to end up being better? I still believe LaMelo is going to be better than Lonzo. But LaMelo has to develop more of a consistency to his jump shot. Every time he shoots the ball, it looks different. He does, though, already have a better looking jump shot than his brother Lonzo. But for him to be a relied upon scorer on this team, he's going to have to fix that jump shot and those mechanics. Because I saw it tonight. Every time this guy shot, it looked different. The best shooters, they have the same shot, the same stroke every single time. I don't see that with LaMelo Ball. So that's just my take on that. Again, guys, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plus, hit the bell, ring the bell so you stay notified on all of the videos that I post. And yeah, make sure you guys keep it locked and loaded. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a video on Malachi Flynn probably tomorrow. Because I just love what I see from this guy, and I want to talk about it and then some. So expect to see that. Make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a video from yours truly. I appreciate everybody who's in here right now. I appreciate the love for the new set. This is Raps Report. My name is Luca Rosano, and this show is presented by VAUGHAN SPORTSPLEX 2. I hope you guys are digging these live post-game shows, because from here on out, instead of doing pre-recorded post-game pods, I'm going to be doing these live post-game pods and trying to get on here as quickly as I can once the game wraps up. As you see, the leaders to my right, Van Vliet, 23 points, Malachi Flynn, 17 points, Terrence Davis, 14 points, Siakam, 12 points, Norman Powell, 9 points, and then for the Hornets, McDaniels had 15, Rozier had 15, Hayward, he had a nice little game, 14 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, Graham and LaMelo Ball, he did have 12 points in this one, but he was 3 of 10 from the field and 2 of 6 from 3. He was taking a lot of shots, and he was literally throwing it up every time he got it. I mean, he took a lot of ill-advised shots in this one, especially from beyond the arc. You'd like to see him clean that up if you're a Hornets fan. All right, guys, if you have any questions, now is your time to shoot your shot and let me know what you thought of tonight's preseason game. We'll take some questions here. We are 21 minutes into the postgame show. And make sure you guys smash that like button. Let's try to get to 100 likes. Let's go, guys. The more likes, the better it is. Hey, North Hoops, what's going on? Says, hey, Luca, how's it going? I'm the one who posted your finals reaction on Twitter. Thanks for that, man. That was really, really cool. A lot of foul trouble, says Captain Saver, bro. Yeah, there were a lot of fouls in this game, and I'd like to see the Raptors get to the foul line more times than they put their opponent on the charity stripe. How many minutes is Aaron Baines going to get? Well, he got 17 tonight. I see him getting around 20 minutes. 20 to 22 minutes per game. Do you think we are championship contenders, says Aiden. Still very early to tell, but listen, let's be honest. This team is going to go through their ups and downs. They're going to have to show me a whole lot in order for me to put them in that category. Flynn and Davis from off the bench, says Danny Ribio. Yeah, man, I really like that tandem tonight. I gave him a lot of praise earlier in this show. Those two together are special, and I'm excited to see what they continue to do over the course of this 72-game regular season. It's going to be fun. What's going on, Guardian Transit? From off the bench, I like Bembry. I liked Terrence Davis. I liked Malachi Flynn. I like Alex Len. And Watanabe's been impressing me, man. Matt Thomas, of course, in game one, he was the story. Tonight, he took a little bit of a step back, but like I said, I'm not concerned at all. You think LaMelo is a bust? No way, bro. No way, man. Like I said, it's going to take time for him to be consistent in this league. He's got to fix that jump shot, but I think he's going to be a good player, man. I think he's going to be a good player, and I do think he's going to end up being the best ball brother. Will Lowry play next game? I don't know. I would think he would see some minutes because I know he wasn't going to play in these first two games. We still don't know the status of the third game. At least I don't know. LiAngelo Ball got cut. Do you think Flynn was a steal? Still very early to tell, but if he continues to play like this, I mean, you're going to be calling him the steal of the draft. Smash that like button, guys. The more likes, the more people get to be in here. And also, please sub to the channel if you are new. Plus, ring that bell for more Raps reports. And let me know if you guys are digging these live post-game shows or if you want me to do pre-recorded pods instead. Pascal Siakam, again, he had a much better showing tonight because he just let the offense come to him. He wasn't forcing anything out there. And when he took shots, it was unforced. He took shots comfortably. And that's what you want to see from Pascal Siakam. This live is lit. Thank you so much, Michael Ball. Come to Waterloo. Well, maybe, yeah, when the restrictions are, lessened a bit. Yeah, I probably will implement a call-in feature soon, Hamza. Probably once we get into the regular season for sure. LaMelo's going to be a legit 20-point scorer. If he can fix that jumper of his, I can see that. But he does take a lot of shots. His efficiency has been a problem in the past. He takes a whole lot of shots. And hopefully, for the Hornets' sake, he can make more than he takes. Or makes more than he misses. If Van Vliet did leave, did you see Flynn fitting into his role? Yeah, you know what? There was... Van Vliet was definitely on the minds of Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri when they made that pick because, we are seeing a carbon copy of Fred Van Vliet out there and Malachi Flynn. Malachi Flynn is literally Fred Van Vliet 2.0. The way he plays the game, the way he's humble, the way he doesn't, gloat out there. He's very to himself. His demeanor is very poised. It's crazy, man. I'm really getting Fred Van Vliet vibes every time I see Malachi play, and his jump shot is good. His form is good. His playmaking ability is good. He's just as good defensively, it seems. Same size, give or take. It really is crazy how similar these guys are. And like I said, when they selected Malachi Flynn, Fred Van Vliet definitely had to be on their minds. Because at that point, they didn't know if they were going to retain him or not because the NBA draft came before NBA free agency. Can Flynn be a Rookie of the Year contender? I don't know about that just yet, but, man, if he can have a consistent outing every time from off the bench, you can't help but deny this kid. Do you think Butler will play on Friday? I think the starters aren't going to get a whole ton of minutes, but we could see Lowry. Do you think Bembry was a good choice? Like I said earlier, man, I'm really liking what I see from Bembry. No way I saw the Raptors getting rid of Terrence Davis. Terrence Davis is solid, man. When he is on his game, he is our best pure scorer from off the bench. I would put him ahead of Norman Powell in that category. I really love when this guy is on. Do you think Davis is gone if he's found guilty? I do believe I believe he would be released by the team if, the allegations against him are proved to be true and he is in fact guilty. Adrian, what's going on, man? I know it's only 2 preseason games, but I'm going to say it straight up. Malachi Flynn was an absolute steal at number 29. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. Like I said, he could very well end up being the steal of this draft. What's going on, Honey Bubba? Again, guys, smash that like button if you're just tuning in for the first time tonight. Plus, subscribe to the channel if you are new and ring that bell. Let's get to 100 likes in here. I love Bembry's cuts. He looks good, man. He looks good out there. San Diego State fan here. Flynn is repping SD well. Hey, what's going on? RC Gooner, man. 2002. Yeah, man. You guys had a good one in Malachi. I'll be honest. I didn't watch this guy at all in his college days. But start watching the tape. Obviously, you've seen him through 2 preseason games. You can't help but to love what you see from Malachi. How about James Harden to the Raptors? I think James Harden is going to get traded. He clearly doesn't want to be there. It's a shame because he's the $200 million man and he's acting like a crybaby. But ultimately, I don't see him going to the Raptors. I do think if the Nets feel like they have a good shot to win the championship, they might make a splash for him just because they have the assets to trade for him. Another team would be Philadelphia, although, that might be unlikely. But if Harden does get traded, in all likelihood, it would be to the East. I do want to see the Raptors clean up the turnovers, though. And I know it's the preseason, and I'm not going to start harping on the refs, but the officiating was a little questionable tonight. I know some of you can attest that. But yeah, the turnovers definitely got to be worked on. I know it's preseason, so again, a lot of these guys still trying to get into the rhythm of things, being off for about a month and a half, 2 months. So you'd like to see the turnovers get cleaned up. If there's one knock against Malachi tonight, for as good as he was, he did have 5 turnovers, so hopefully, he can limit that. And Aaron Baines had 3 turnovers as well. Davis had 2, Boucher had 2. You don't want to turn the ball over, that's for sure. And the Raptors are usually a very disciplined team, and they don't turn the ball over a whole ton. So those are a couple of areas. Let me just pop up something here. 1 sec. Yeah, so field goal percentage for tonight. Raptors shot 47.6%. They shot 34% from 3. 3-point percentage has been lower than you expected from the Raptors in 2 games. So hopefully they can start to develop a little bit of consistency with that. But we've seen that with the Raptors so many times. I mean, when the 3 ball's not falling, it's not falling. But when it is falling, it's falling. So I'm not too concerned about that. Free throws. This is where I want to see the number higher. I mean, the Raptors only got to the charity stripe 23 times. The Hornets got there 32 times. So 9 more times. And the Raptors went 17 of 23. We got to pride ourselves on being a very good free throw shooting team. You look at rebounds, pretty identical. Raptors had 37 total rebounds. Hornets had 38. Assists. Raptors got out-assisted by 10. Hornets had 33 assists. Raptors had 23 assists. Steals. Raptors had 13 steals tonight. They were very good in that department. Malachi, Fred especially. Turnovers, 22. Like I said, I'd like that to be low, but all in all, they had less than the Hornets. Points in the paint, 42. And then personal fouls, 31. 5 more fouls called on the Toronto Raptors. And again, that is to my earlier point of the officiating being somewhat questionable, but we're not going to talk about the officiating too much tonight because it is the preseason, and it's gonna matter in the regular season, and those calls better be going our way. That's all I'm saying. Hey, thank you so much, Jaron Bigelow, for the $5 dono. Appreciate that, man. Let's get some dono hype in the chat for Jaron. This is Raptors Postgame Live. My name is Luca Rosano. Malachi Flynn shines again tonight as the Raptors are victorious. They beat the Charlotte Hornets and sweep this mini 2-game preseason set. 112-109 is our final tonight. This was a fun game, like I said, for a preseason game. We got our price of admission. This went down to the wire. It went down to the wire when it shouldn't have. I think the Raptors were up by like 7, but then they let the Hornets score a couple of easy ones. But it's good. You want to play in close games in the preseason. So hopefully you get another close one on Friday, because on Friday we're going to be taking on a very good Miami Heat team. Of course, we know what this team did a year ago. They made it to the NBA Finals. They're going to be hungry to get back there and this time try to finish the job. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo signing that big contract. You got Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, another year into their careers. Miami is going to be a team where I look for the Raptors to, play hard against them, and that's going to be a good measuring stick. Miami is, until they are knocked off, the Eastern Conference champs. So the Raptors are going to be hunting them. And Friday's game, although it's going to be a preseason, and a lot of those starters are probably going to see very, very limited minutes with the NBA season starting on December 22nd, which is literally, 8 days away. We're probably not going to see these guys obviously go at their hardest. We're going to see a lot of starters miss some minutes, miss some time, but all in all, that's going to be a very big game, and every time the Raptors play the Heat this season, very big measuring stick of where this Raptors team is at when it comes to where they stack up in the very, very competitive Eastern Conference. I mean, the Eastern Conference, it is deep. It is going to be fun to see where these teams all rank and stack, and I'm excited to see it all unfold. But there's a lot of teams in there that you can make a valid case that they can make a run and come out of the East. I'm not ready to rule one team as the perennial favorites. So, there's a lot of basketball to be played, and there's going to be a lot of interesting narratives that are going to develop between now and the next couple of months. What's going on? All right, guys, I'm taking more questions here. Going to look at the live stream chat. East finally catching up to the West. That is very true. By the way, is this Kyle Lowry final year of his contract? Yes, it is. Trade Powell for Miles Turner. West still 100% better. Powell will come around, give him some time. What's going on, Rio? LOL, we can't get Bradley Beal now. I have faith Stanley will do well this year. If he gets his shot back, he will be awesome. Will Kyle play on Friday? I'm not too sure yet. I would expect him to maybe get some minutes, but I'm not still 100% sure. What's going on, Nicholas? Malachi, the GOAT. He's been playing well, man. You gotta like what you see from Malachi Flynn so far. But Raptors got one more preseason game on Friday, and then they'll begin their regular season against the New Orleans Pelicans next week. Crazy how we're already into another NBA season. It literally feels like yesterday that we just ended one. Well, technically, we just ended one like a week, like a month ago. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a place for Stanley Johnson on this team, unfortunately. I mean, the Raptors got a lot of depth. There's going to be a lot of competition going on. That's why that final game is going to be very interesting to see who steps up, who gets a roster spot, and who's going to be on the short end of the stick. Yes, we're 2,000 subscribers away from 20K, man. So definitely smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to help me get to that 20K mark. Join the nation, Rosano Nation. So, I mean, yeah, the final preseason game is going to be one that you definitely want to make note of. That's going to be an interesting one to see how things develop and pan out. Hey, appreciate you, man. Yeah, that OG buzzer beater was crazy, man. Still remember calling that thing. That was crazy. So fun. Raptors aren't trading anybody, Sean. We still got to see what this team does once the real stuff begins, the real season begins. Kenneth, I don't think anybody cares that the Bucks lost again. It's the preseason, man. I mean, no one's keeping track of wins or losses, and if you do in the preseason, I mean, you gotta get a new hobby. It's the preseason. We just gotta see what these guys are made out of. We got to see how these guys look. Nobody cares who wins or loses these games. We need Kyle still, says Danny. Malachi Flynn could win Rookie of the Year. I wouldn't get too ahead of myself. There are a lot of good rookies in this year's draft class, but could he end up being the steal of the draft? Most doubtably. What's going on, Milton Channel? Make sure you guys smash that like button. We're almost at 100 likes. And again, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you are new, please let me know and hit that bell. Johnson and Johnson need to go. Yeah, I don't see a place for either of those guys. I mean, Alize Johnson, it was tough to see tonight. He hasn't looked good at all, and he looks very out of place out there. So hopefully, there's a place for him somewhere if it's not here. He does look like Jimmy Butler. It's crazy how much they look alike. Hey, appreciate you, PS3 Shake says, what made you upgrade Sixers standings in the East Coast? Appreciate you for the dono. I don't know if I upgraded you guys. I still got you guys finishing below the Raptors, but I mean, I don't know, man. The Sixers are hit or miss. You know that. They could look like the next big thing this season or just fall apart again. I gave you guys too much credit last year when I had you as the 1 seed, so who knows? Maybe these guys do take a step forward and they do what they're supposed to do last year this year. Yeah, C Park. Like I said, that's an overreaction to Matt Thomas, man. The dude had one bad game in so long, and we're gonna start talking like that. Come on, you gotta have patience with your players, and Matt Thomas is definitely one guy that I'm not losing faith in anytime soon. I mean, if this guy has like 10 straight bad games, okay, maybe we can talk. But one bad game in a while, nah. Parza, hey, thank you so much. Parza with the $2 dono. Appreciate you, man. Let's get some dono hype in the chat. What's going on, Matthew? Sixers definitely need to switch it up. People really stressing over preseason games? Yeah, bro. We live in that time. We live in that reality where we're stressing a lot. So I hope you can escape whatever you guys are going through for the next little bit and just relax here. It's preseason. We saw a lot of good bright spots from this Raptors team. Let's take it easy. Let's not, get too stressed out that this team, almost lost to the Hornets and that, Matt Thomas had an off game and that the Johnsons didn't play well. Yeah, man. Let's just chill. OG for most improved player, I would put a bet on that. If you guys are betting people, I think he's got good odds. Shortened season, it's fun to get into. Yuta for president. I want to see Siakam not get too hard on himself, and I want to see him have fun playing the game again and let the offense come to him. Kevin, I think the only one sus is you, bro. I think you should hop out of here, bro. While you still can. Jalen Harris is a work in progress, Danny. I don't think we're going to see the step forward from him that we've seen with Malachi. I'm not ready to give up on him. He does have a lot of good characteristics to his game, but he is a work in progress. Yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is another candidate who's expected to have a huge season, man. I mean, he's going to be basically the entire OKC offense. All right, let me just tell this Kevin guy who literally knows nothing and knows, absolutely squat about sports and is trying to come on here and, talk smack. Bro, get a life, get a job, get on out of here. And go learn something about basketball. All right, is Sixers trade for Harden? Are they the East favorite? I think they're already the favorite now without that trade. But again, I'm not ready to rule somebody a favorite until we see what these teams look like in the regular season. Yeah, in all likelihood, Jalen could go to the G League along with some of these other guys. Like I said, I'm not saying he can't be on this roster, but he is a work in progress. But that being said, he's 22 years old already. I mean, he came in already a veteran, already mature, and a lot older than you usually expect a guy to come in. Usually these guys come in and they're like 18, 19, even younger. So loving the post game, great stuff. I appreciate that, Chris. Again, yeah, I'm trying to get feedback, guys. Do you like these lives better than pre-recorded pods? Definitely let me know what you're thinking of this new look Raps report where I go live after the game. But definitely smash that like button, guys. Try to get 200 likes on this post game pod. And if you're watching this on the replay, definitely smash that like button and sub to the channel if you are new. Plus hit that bell. Gucci Gang, Terrence Davis has been great, man. He's been a pleasant treat, if you will. And it's good to see him find his mojo offensively. And you hope, obviously, the off-the-court stuff doesn't affect him and where he's headed with this team. And you hope he can remain a Raptor. The Raptors should tank this year? Come on, man. That's an L comment right there. Yo, Luca, who do you think will have Giannis? That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What were your thoughts on Ellenson, Yuta Watanabe, and Alizé Johnson? Alizé was an afterthought. I'm continuing to like what I see from Watanabe. And Ellenson, he looked solid out there. He hit a three. But ultimately, I don't see those guys making the roster, the final roster. If I had to give the edge to one guy, it's probably Yuta. Why are we so bad in the first quarter? It's preseason, man. We're not even playing our starters heavy minutes. Have a good night, Aiden. Appreciate the feedback, Ashley. Yeah, I know there's like a million post-game shows on TV. Should we retire Mafuzzy Chef's jersey in the future? It'll be interesting, man. I think you can make a case for a lot of Raptors to be potentially retired. I mean, yeah, Serge Ibaka could be one of those guys. That's a good get. Getting an Ibaka jersey for $30, you could always use it for a pickup game of basketball, man. I dig that. I rate that. How do I feel about Ibaka and Gasol? I mean, it hit me in the feels when I saw both those guys with Kawhi Leonard last night in that preseason game. But all in all, I think we're going to be more hurt from the Serge Ibaka loss than we are with Marc Gasol, because Marc Gasol was on the decline anyway. So nah, I don't think so, bro. Maybe actually. That's an interesting conspiracy, if you will. And I'm talking to you, Ryan. That's actually pretty interesting. Pascal worries me. What is this game's disappointment? Turnovers, man. Turnovers and just getting off to a slow start. You don't want to see that. I expect the Raptors to correct that when they play in regular season games. But yeah, you don't want to be getting off to a slow start. I just looked at the score right now, and my Ravens are destroying the Browns. Always like to see that. Big Monday Night Football game on right now. I'm probably going to watch the end of that. Hey, Timothy Carson. Thank you so much, man, for the $5 dono. Let's give it up to Timothy. Appreciate that, man. Here's a beer. Thanks. Where do you stand on sports psychology? Siakam looks like he has too many thoughts in his brain when he gets the ball. Timothy, yeah, I actually mentioned that before. Somebody asked me what I expect from Pascal Siakam. I just hope he gets out of his own head, and I hope he can once again look like he's having fun out there, because I think Pascal Siakam's biggest obstacle is himself. And when you start hearing people talk badly about you, I mean, a lot of people got hard on this guy this past offseason. I didn't expect it to get that ugly. It could affect you and your on-court performance. And at the end of the day, these athletes are people too. They have social media. They read what people say. They hear what people say. And it's hard to ignore it because it's all in your face in this social media world. Yeah, I think that's a big thing that Siakam has to battle in order for him to get back to the Pascal Siakam that we've seen. So he just has to get out of his own head, start having fun playing the game again, and let the game come to him. Those are the biggest takeaways with Siakam when I see him. And tonight, he looked a lot more comfortable than he did in game one of the preseason. And you just hope that translates into the regular season and he lets the offense come to him and he doesn't force it. Because when he forces it, it's a train wreck out there. And we've seen it. The spin moves, the attempted hook shots, forcing threes. You don't want to see that. You want to see the Siakam that played alongside Kawhi Leonard where it seemed like he could do no wrong out there. That's the guy I want to see. And of course, there's pressure on him because he is the quote-unquote number one. But that being said, he's got to not think that it's all on him, because it's not all on him. The Raptors' strength is in their numbers. They can't hope for one guy to take over the game. They got to just play collectively, and they all just got to do their job. It's the famous quote Pretty sure that was Bill Belichick who said it. Just do your job. That's all they got to do. Just do your damn job. Hey, gold-blooded. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I've come a long way from those water bottles. What's going on, Stephen McKinnis? Says Pascal only got 12 points. Are we hating on him? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say cut off the Pascal Siakam slander. I mean, it's preseason. He didn't look bad tonight at all. Let's wait until the regular season and see what this guy does. But let's not start talking about how we can trade Siakam and the season hasn't even started yet. That's just simply unfair to him. LaMelo a bust, eh? Nah, I don't think he's a bust at all, man. I just think he has to be smarter with his shot selection. And he can't force it either. Because a couple of the shots he took tonight were just downright ugly. What it do, baby? Kawhi voice. Seems like that era of Raptors basketball was like 10 years ago, man. Meanwhile, it was like 2 years ago. I hope Powell could be better this season because they're going to need him. They're going to need offense, and Norman Powell's one guy that can provide that offense, and he's another guy who's going to be on my radar of, you know, if he can step up and be consistent throughout the course of the season. Is Hayward an all-star this year? Short answer, no. But I do think he's going to have a solid year with the Hornets. In large part to the fact that the Hornets are a lesser team and he will get a ton of minutes and he will look very good because there's not a whole lot of talent on that team. I don't even know if that trade will be available, man. Pat McCaw, a second rounder for PJ Tucker. I loved PJ Tucker when he was here, just for the record, so not sure if that answers the question, but I like PJ Tucker. I think he would be a great fit on this version of the Raptors. Team that plays hard and gets after it defensively. Why does Nick love McCaw? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with McCaw. I thought we were going to see him tonight. We didn't. I don't know what the future plans are for him. Because with the way Malachi's been playing and Terrence Davis and Matt Thomas, I don't know where you could play McCaw. I missed the 3 stars. Who do we get or who do we got? I didn't do 3 stars tonight, but if I had to do it, I mean, Malachi shines again. I'll give Fred VanVleet the number 1 star, though. For the amount of minutes that he played, his production was simply phenomenal. Malachi 2 and Terrence Davis 3. Those are my 3 stars. Pretty similar to the first game where I think I had Matt Thomas instead of Davis. Lewis, that's a good question, man. And like I said, that's what's going to make the final preseason game all that important and all that intriguing. That's going to be a battle of who gets the final spots, precious spots on this team. So expect, you know, the guys that we saw in the fourth quarter to play the majority of that game on Friday. I don't expect the starters to get minutes. I expect the bench to kind of battle it out and see who's going to get the minutes once the regular season starts. This is interesting. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that. If you guys are new, please subscribe to the channel. Please ring the bell so you stay notified on all of the videos and live shows that I do. Please like. Let's get to 200 likes in here. And if you guys want to see more of these live post-game shows, let me know. Because right now I'm going in between of whether I should do these live or pre-recorded. And trying to compare what does better and what goes over better with the people. I don't believe there are any updates on Lowry, not ones that I've seen, but I do think he will get some minutes in that final game. But if not, I mean, it is what it is. And Lowry doesn't need to play in the preseason. He's paid his dues. Will they let Tom Brady in to see the Raptors? Maybe. Live definitely. Live is dope, says McGregor. Live is so fun. We need post-game chat. Yeah, I mean, we'll continue going with the live. We'll see how that does because I started doing pre-recorded last year. And yeah, I guess these lives are fun. And like I said, maybe at some point in the regular season, we can implement a call-in show or a call-in feature. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, go and follow me on social media. If you guys ever want to talk basketball and about these games, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The usernames are down below. Down below my nameplate, that is. Let me check. Oh, the Browns scored a touchdown. I don't want to get too off track here, but I am a Ravens fan, and I am keeping an eye on this Monday Night Football game. Will there be fans for the Raps home games? I don't know. That's a good question because in Florida, they basically have no restrictions, and there's going to be fans on Friday for the Miami Heat, so I don't know if the Raptors are going to have fans. It's a very good question. And if the Raptors are going to have fans, I mean, how many Raptors fans are in that Tampa Bay, Florida area? Probably a lot. So if there's one team that can benefit from having an actual crowd, it's the Toronto Raptors. So I don't know, and I was thinking about that today, because if the Heat are allowed to have fans, theoretically, couldn't the Raptors be allowed to have fans? They're playing in Tampa, Florida. Florida has no rules. So we'll see. We'll see. And Friday's game is going to be interesting, because there are going to be fans. It's Miami's home game. So, I mean, just seeing actual people at a basketball game in a basketball arena, it's going to bring back some, good memories. And I can't believe I'm saying that. When will we go home? That is the $1,000,000 question, and I have no idea. Sounds unsafe to me. Probably is, Mark. Probably is. You follow hockey, Luca? Yeah, I do, but I'm more of a basketball head than I am a hockey head. And besides, the Leafs haven't done anything relevant in, my lifetime. Raptors fans everywhere. In Masai, we trust. Mike Jones. No, he wasn't. I don't think I schooled Stephen A, but I appreciate that. Yeah, it's probably one of my highlights for sure. And once I hit 20K, that's going to be another highlight. I will say this about the Raptors' home situation. I don't think there's a chance that the Raptors play any bit of this season back in Toronto, so you are looking at 2022. It is what it is. Safety protocols, of course, triumph during this time, and I trust that it's the right decision. So as far as us Torontonians or wherever you are, if you ever get to a Raps game or got to a Raps game and watched the game live in the past, you're going to have to wait probably a year to be able to enjoy that environment again. And I know as somebody who's been going many, many times to games, it is one of my favorite things to do. And not only just going to the games, I think I miss Jurassic Park just as much. Just being outside with crazy fans, watching the game, especially during playoff time. And for me, doing my streeters, interviewing people, doing those exposing bandwagon segments that first popped in my YouTube career. And that was kind of my first type of content that I ever did. that's what I miss. So I'm hoping we get back to that soon. And yeah, I mean, Zoom is cool and all, but nothing beats in person. Is Terrence Ross going to be on the Luca Rosano show? Dude, it's crazy. Are you like reading my emails or something? Funny enough, I actually got a hold of Terrence Ross, and he actually got back to me. And we're trying to set up a date to do a podcast because he just started his podcast. So I'm hoping I can get him on as a guest. And he was inclined to do it. So I'm just waiting to hear back what day works best for him. Of course, this guy's got, NBA stuff to do. He's a member of the Magic. So I'm hoping that pans out. And if it does, Terrence Ross would be the next guest on the Luca Rosano show. So stay tuned on that. But that's crazy how you got that, Austin. I mean, this guy's reading my mind or something. Loving the new layout. Appreciate that, Mr. T. Can't take the credit, though. Graphic designer. Very talented. CALLUM LOVEKIN. He actually hit me up on Instagram, and he proposed this graphic layout to me. And I loved it. I said, yeah, man, let's do it. I'll take it. So I really appreciate him. I've linked to his portfolio down below. Very talented graphic designer. Again, this backdrop graphic is created by CALLUM LOVEKIN. I hope I'm saying his name right. Nonetheless, thank you so much. Well, definitely tell Terrence Ross to come on, bro. You need Michael Jordan for the next interview? All right, guys, going to take a couple last questions here before I wrap it up. This is Raptors post-game live with Luca Rosano. Malachi Flynn shines again as the Raptors beat the Hornets. Fred VanVleet led all scores. And Raptors got one more preseason game left, which will be played on Friday against the Miami Heat. I do not play NBA 2K. Who is your second favorite team in the NBA? I don't really have a definitive second team. Take care, Benny. Appreciate it. Smash that like button on your way out, guys. And please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell whether you're watching live or on the replay. Should the Raptors capitalize on Lowry's value and try to find a trade for him? Like I said, I don't think Lowry's going anywhere unless this Raptors team completely falls off and they are a non-playoff team at the deadline. Appreciate all the new subscribers. Appreciate everybody who hit that bell. And I think that's my cue to get out of here. All right, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for tuning in to tonight's Raps Report. Raptors win. They beat the Hornets. And it was a fun game. It was a fun preseason game. We'll see how the Raptors square off and do against the Miami Heat this Friday. We'll have another post-game pod right after the conclusion of that game. And then live stream season officially begins next week. I will be doing live play-by-play and reaction videos, streams, once the Raptors officially begin their regular season. Like, sub on your way out, and if you wish to